Imagine dreading every morning because of the place you work at. I used to work in a place where stress was the daily norm and support was just non existent. It took a toll on my mental health, and in this video, I'll share my story and explore how toxic workplaces could affect your well being. Now, a toxic work environment is a workplace where the culture, interactions, and conditions negatively impact employees' mental, emotional, and sometimes physical well being. Now, whether you experienced it or not, from what I noticed is that every toxic work environment shares similar characteristics. Okay, now here are some examples that I'm going to provide. For the first one is going to be bullying and harassment. This is a big one because it not only makes a person uncomfortable and scared, you could say, it discourages them to show up to work. Aside from people not speaking up a lot, there's also lack of support where when you do speak up, do they even believe you? And if they do or they don't, um, they'll probably dismiss it. I personally have experienced this. It's a little funny because how the hell can you get bullied right when you're a grown adult? But it's not like bullying how when you're a kid in school and they're gonna be like, oh, what's your lunch money? No, it's nothing like that. It's more like, for example, in my perspective, I had barely gotten promoted to a new position in my job. And I'm not gonna say where I work at, but my new boss, she was known to be pretty strict, you could say. And I just thought like, oh, well, people maybe exaggerate. I've dealt with so many strict bosses, but nothing like her, you know. And what really surprised me was that she would act kind of childish and immature, where, in my opinion, if you're gonna be a boss, you need to be the leader. You need to be the example of your team, and communicate, because that's another factor of a toxic environment, lack of communication. And she didn't communicate at all. Well, scratch that. She actually did communicate, but not in the correct way, you could say. So I guess I had messed up one time, and she took it so personal for some reason that she called a meeting. And mind you, our station was like in the middle of everybody. Everybody could see us. When she would call meetings, we would be there and we would form like a circle, and she would be screaming at us, like if she was your mom or something, just screaming and getting red. It was just ridiculous. I was just like, okay, whatever, because what can I say? Whatever. So I was just like, I just brushed it off. Then throughout the day, she started making little remarks. And that caught me by surprise because what the hell? Why is my boss like just talking shit? And not even quietly, She would do it like right in front of you. She would be loud for you to hear. And she would fucking do it with your other coworkers. And I guess they were so fucking scared of her that instead of stopping her, they would pretty much like go on with her. And I was just like, what the hell? So I mean, at one point I got tired of it, and I said, do you have a problem with me? And she said no. But I didn't go aggressive at her. I just said like, is there a problem? Because you just keep talking, like if you have something to say, tell me. I'm here to, like, we're here to work. We're not here to freaking start drama. But so that was pretty heavy on my part because it's stressful. It's stressful. It's your boss. Maybe you'll think like, oh, well, still you should go and report her. Yeah, I mean, you should. But I at that point I didn't think it was like that big of a deal, because I was barely starting. So I was just like, it just said that. But yeah, that's one. Another one would be excessive workload. For this one, pretty much on all my on other jobs that I worked on, this factor comes in, like, where you could say that, oh, last time I checked, overtime was voluntarily. You didn't have to stay because you just did your 8 hours. But some companies make it like mandatory, and then they try to put fear on you where it's like, oh, if you leave after your 8 hours, we're gonna fire you, or whatever. And it's crazy to me because, well, first of all, I mean, I have stayed because, I mean, fuck it, it's extra money. But at the same time, if I have moments where If I wasn't gonna stay because I felt sick or whatever the case may be, I was gonna leave. I'm not about to stay there and you got me effed up. And I have clash with my bosses because of that, because they try to put me like, oh well, I'm a till supervisor or whatever the fuck. And no, you're not gonna, don't do that. So yeah, I just leave, honestly. Not everybody's capable of standing up for themselves. So real life examples that illustrate what a toxic environment might be, is pretty much poor communication, lack of support, high turnover, bullying and harassment, micromanagement, favoritism, excessive workload, lack of work-life balance, negative atmosphere, and ineffective leadership. But there's more probably, but these are the main 10s that I chose. Now, it is important to talk about it because toxic work environments can lead to serious mental health issues like anxiety, depression, and burnout. It doesn't only affect the employee itself, but it also affects the company because it lowers the productivity and performance of the employee. Chronic stress from toxic work environments can also affect the physical health, leading to problems like headaches, sleep disturbance, and a weakened immune system. Now, for me, I got anxiety, really bad anxiety, because I just really would not want to go to work because I wouldn't want to deal with her. It was that bad. And I did complain about her, but all they did was, they dismissed me. They didn't I don't think they didn't take me serious. And now I just felt like, well, if they're not gonna do anything about it, then I'm just gonna do me too. So whenever I felt like leaving early, I left early. When I didn't want to go to work, I didn't show up. you know they didn't fire me, but I don't know if it's because they knew what the hell was going on, and they weren't taking action, so they were like, okay, F it, or I don't know. But now addressing the issue is important. One way you could do is going to talk to HR, and expressing how you expressing explaining the situation and what's going on. Another way is talking directly to the person calmly and seeing what the problem is and how you could resolve the problem, calmly and peacefully, of course. You shouldn't put up with that, and they shouldn't be treating you like that. At the end of the day, it's a job, you know, and it shouldn't be making you feel like you're enslaved there, because you're not. You're a human being as well, and speak up, in a calm way. Your feelings matter at the end of the day. Focus on creating a positive work environment. Some coping strategies that you could do for yourself is meditating, seeking support from friends and family, and maybe ask for their opinions and see what they say about the situation. Set boundaries with your coworkers. Like, if you don't want to play around like that, then say it. Be like, hey, don't play with me like that. I don't like it, and be clear and firm. Take a vacation, maybe take a personal leave, so that way you could take off the steam and the weight you feel on top. Now, a long-term solution would be the importance of speaking up for yourself, and knowing when to leave a toxic environment is important. You shouldn't put yourself in that situation. At the end of the day, you're there to work. Everybody goes there to work because of needs. Unless you're rich, and hey, congrats. But there shouldn't be a reason for somebody to be putting you to that situation, because they're there for the same reason that you are there for. So yes, I know sometimes you guys get along and sometimes you guys become friends because you are there almost half, majority of your lifetime, half of the day, for 5 days a week, if not more, right? But it shouldn't be feeling like a dreadful place, because you're there most of the time. So you try to make it as positive as you can. Knowing how to identify a toxic work environment, how to address it, and knowing when to leave is really important, because it's really important for your mental health. So hopefully this helped you guys out and maybe make a decision about the situation that you're in right now, or brought you awareness of toxic work environments. On the next video, I'm gonna give examples, each characteristic of a toxic work environment, so that way you could get to know more in depth of it. And hope everybody's out there having a good day and staying positive. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Oh, if you like this video, please give it a like and share. And if you want to see more, subscribe. But yeah, if you ever experienced a toxic work, if you ever had a job where it was toxic, let me know. Put it in the comments. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.